any publicity is good publicity. Maybe in this case, probably when it comes down to it. It seems to me, at least, as somebody who has deep and extensive knowledge in psychology, in addition to sales and marketing, and a lot of the jobs that I've done previously, I think a lot of the haters are actually selling Pokemon Legends ZA and the Nintendo Switch 2 for Nintendo, even when they're saying really negative things. And please allow me to explain this one. Now, I want to first and foremost say I am not against people speaking up about things that they like or dislike about any type of game. I'm going to talk about a bunch of things with Pokemon Legends ZA in this video that I dislike and I feel that they could do better overall. I'm going to talk about things that I felt were great in the game as I've played now, I think 15 plus hours. I've been doing all the side quests, been getting all the Pokemon, been checking out all the different wild zones, been 100% in everything that I can. And there is a lot to discuss with that. But I want to talk about this because this phenomenon that I'm seeing online, and it seems like these people are befuddled. They are surprised when the Switch 2 and Pokemon Legends ZA is doing incredibly good, and they don't know why, because they personally think that the product is terrible overall. But like I said, I've been a lot in psychology. I've seen sales and marketing, and they're actually, I think, helping to sell these products, and I'll explain why right here. So if you look at this tweet is so far out of bounds when it comes to a dude that dresses up cosplay to talk about video games and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Which is fine. He can do whatever he wants. But this is so far out of bounds. People take it as, I would say, it's like a psychological twist. Like, you're trying to trick me. You're trying to tell me that alcohol and drug abuse is the same as enjoying a Pokemon game or liking a Pokemon game, even with its faults. When you start going to this realm, there's something in anybody's brain that is logical that says, this person's crazy. I'm going to do the exact opposite as what this person says. And on top of that, if you look at the amount of views you will see from angry videos when it comes to Pokemon or when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2, yet you see incredibly high sales or people arguing over and over with these people, it brings more people in to see exactly what is being talked about and saying, well, I played a Pokemon game back then, or maybe I liked Pokemon Legends Arceus, or maybe I liked some of the other Pokemon games. Let me see for myself. Now, when I personally don't like something, I might say it one time and that's it. I am not going to sit there and go after everybody online and go crazy with it, because all it does is just bring more attention to that said product that I don't like. So if I don't like something, or if I think something's bad, I'm not going to support it with my money, and I'm sure it's not going to platform it and talk about it all the time and get hundreds of thousands of people to look at the post and say, well, wait a minute, hold up, I disagree with what that guy says a lot. I'm going to go check it out. The best thing that I have seen when it comes to sales and marketing is when people simply just don't talk about something, or they just recommend something else. But if you constantly have to bring up Pokemon to talk about Digimon, and you don't talk about Digimon by itself, Pokemon, in this case, when it comes to what you're trying to say is way better, is going to get more eyes on that said product. And that's something that I learned in sales and marketing a lot. Products need to be able to stand on their own 2 feet, and the more that people try to sit there and pit gamers against each other or bash or shame people for simply enjoying something, it's just going to cause more people to gravitate towards that. Because what do you hear people say all the time? You're not the boss of me. And surely not really scrawny people that dress up as wizards online. You're definitely not the boss of me. And that's what so many people are gonna say when they see crazy tweets from people like this, and other people as well too. Now, once again, this is not to sit here and say that you are not allowed to have criticism. Heck, man, like I said, I'm going to talk about this because I've been playing Pokemon Legends ZA for a bit now, and there's definitely things to talk about. But when it's this crazy, when you're sitting there and trying to go after people for simply enjoying something, everybody lives their own life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own life. Everybody has their own things. Let people enjoy what they want to enjoy overall. You can speak out against it. You can go after Game Freak. You can say whatever you want. But I think that tweets like this really get people thinking, I'm just going to go out there and support it. Or it actually looks kind of cool when I watch the gameplay gameplay or when I see both sides of it. And that's what most people, if they are logical, they are going to look at both sides. They are not just going to look at one side, they're going to look at both sides. And more often than not, people are going to gravitate towards the thing when they say, okay, well, it looks like people are having fun, because naturally people play video games to have fun. That is the whole point of it, is to have fun. Now, let's talk about Pokemon Legends ZA, because there's a number of things that I dislike. Obviously, like everyone has said, I will say it once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it 3 times. The outside graphics for the buildings, they are not that good. They're like JPEGs, right? Some of the buildings look okay and everything like that, and the interiors or the sewers or interiors of buildings actually look somewhat decent, but the outdoors, not so much. The environments are a bit of a mixed bag. Some of the environments, like when you're going around like with grass or there's other stuff, looks okay, but the buildings are definitely a problem overall with that. If they actually made that a bit better, and I don't know, I think that it'd be a lot less backlash on that front. But for right now and how it looks, definitely not great when it comes to the outside buildings for sure. Now, the models, in terms of the Pokemon models and the character models, those are not too bad, but they definitely could be better as well with more detail, like in the clothing and stuff like that. So not the best when it comes to graphics. No voice acting. This is something that people have been wanting for Pokemon for a while. They have it in mobile games. They have it in other stuff. They need to go ahead and just bring it over. I would say at the bare minimum, bring it over for the big cutscenes, so you don't just have kind of just like lip syncing to nothing and people just kind of in silence when it comes to certain important cutscenes. So they can do that. You don't got to voice the whole game. Most RPGs don't voice every single little aspect of the game. But when it comes to big, I would say the important ones, definitely get some voice acted in there. So that's another big knock on the game. More online modes and Pokemon. Couple hundreds of Pokemon, that's not bad. The online modes, not really a ton to do there. It would have been great if they actually fleshed out more of those online modes, did some like more co-op stuff and other things like that, going through with another friend. I think that would have been great for this type of game, especially with the action RPG system. Definitely would like to see more of that. But once again, it's one of those things to where, all right, knock on the game when it comes down to that. I think this one's big, and I'm surprised they don't have more options in here, and that is control options, like a toggle on the lock-on. That would have been nice for quality of life features, and just being able to remap and readjust things. There's just not enough options there overall. More quality of life options for the game by itself as well, in terms of the features and other stuff in terms of accessibility. That would have been great too. So there are a number of things to where you can kind of knock this game down overall, and I am not going to sit here and defend or say that all that stuff, you know, is okay that they don't. I want the Pokemon games to get better just like anybody else, but I'm just not going to act insane about it overall. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go ahead and go crazy on people online when it comes down to that. Now, let's talk about what I like about the game. The gameplay loop is addicting and fun, man. The cooldown system, it's dope. If you're a fan of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you're a fan of games like that, this will fit right in. Now, it's not as in-depth overall when it comes to some of the things. There's definitely a lot of depth with Pokemon. It applies a lot of the mechanics from the turn-based game and assimilates it to a action RPG with cooldowns. So I think they did a really good job with that and trying to balance it somewhat, because that is very hard to do, to go from complete turn-based to cooldown-based system when moves run on PP and they no longer now run on PP, they run on a cooldown system. That's hard to do, and that's hard to balance. And I think the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and I think Game Freak did a good job with the balance so far. Now, I'm pretty sure there's some busted combinations that people are figuring out, but so far playing through the game, I think it's actually pretty cool, especially when you run into an alpha Pokemon and they're super strong, and that's just fun to try to take them down because they hit like a ton of bricks. So I do like that aspect about it. That was one of my favorite things about Pokemon Legends Arceus, and they brought that over to Pokemon Legends ZA. So another thing that I think is probably the shining thing with this game, outside of the combat system being really fun, and something that I felt that Nintendo, Pokemon Company, Game Freak needed to have all hands on deck, and that was the frame rate, resolution, and bugs and glitches. Like, the only bugs that I want to see are the bug Pokemon that I'm picking up, that I'm capturing in the game. I don't want to see any bugs within the game. I don't want to see any glitches, and I want to make sure that the game is running solid and looking sharp, at least on a 4K television, because the resolution for the games have been okay at times on the Nintendo Switch One, but the performance has had a problem, dipping underneath 30 FPS with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, the update before Scarlet and Violet on the Switch 2 definitely helped out. That was great. Got it to 4K 60 essentially. It played great, but we had to wait years for that, plus buy another system. At this point, Pokemon Legends ZA on Switch 1 and on Switch 2, it runs stable on Switch 1. But if you're playing on the Nintendo Switch 2, it is phenomenal. I think it's in a full 4K, or it's very close to that, or anyway, it looks good on my TV. Like, it looks sharp, it does not look blurry or anything. It looks good, and it runs like a dream. I haven't really seen any frame rate drops. I'm pretty sure that there might be a frame rate drop or two. I'm not Digital Foundry. I don't have anything hooked up when I'm playing. But whether I'm playing portable mode or I'm playing docked, I haven't gotten any major frame rate drops or anything. It's ran really smooth, which it should. It's a Switch 1 game running on the Nintendo Switch 2 with some minor improvements when it comes to some of the graphics, draw distance, how it renders different things. But there's still some flaws even with that, with the graphics in terms of fading characters in and out and appearing. So there are still some things, but overall, the frame rate and the performance have been good. And I think that even in portable mode, which is very important for a Pokemon game, I've probably spent about maybe 6 to 8 hours or so playing the game completely in portable mode, because that's the old school way how I played Pokemon back in the day on the Game Boy, on the GBA, on the DS, on the Nintendo 3DS. I love playing Pokemon games portable, and it holds up really well here. Still looks solid, not as good as docked on the TV, but still looks good, and it runs great. So that is the most important thing outside of the gameplay in terms of the loop. And man, they nailed it there on the Nintendo Switch 2. I love the whole ZA Battle Royale stuff. There's always just so many things that are shiny. I just want to collect everything, and they have different types of challenges that you can do within the battles, so you can get the tickets, you can get the little medals, and you can make more money, and it's pretty cool. On top of that, you got the whole different mechanic or system, like achievement system. Then you have the whole scientist lady that you're filling out different stuff for her as well when you're capturing Pokemon, and you're getting different abilities and TMs for that. There's a bunch of side quests that you can do as well that are very fun to do. So all of that stuff creates a really addictive nature type of game that I found a lot of fun to play overall. Now, when it comes to the story, I'm still not super deep into the story yet, but I know it's probably going to get crazier and crazier as I go on, because that's how Pokemon games always are. They start out to where it's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, then all of a sudden there's like some type of interdimensional super huge Pokemon tearing through the skies or tearing through time dimensions that can completely Thanos snap everything if you don't stop them. So it always gets crazy and ties back to other Pokemon games. So I know it's going to get better and better, especially with AZ in the building. So I like that overall. The characters seem well designed and cool overall. And the music. The music is incredible. Like always, Pokemon does not miss. They miss on other things, a lot of things, but they don't miss on when it comes to the music. The music has been great. It's dynamic. When you're going in a wild zone or wild area, it transitions very seamlessly over to the battle music. It's jazzy. It can be kind of pop. It can be kind of slick at times. It's just great. It fits the mood no matter where you are when it comes down to it, and Pokemon music just always has constant bangers. So I'm very happy with the music when it comes to Pokemon Legends ZA, which makes sense because Pokemon X and Y had great music, and it remixes tracks from there, adds in other types of things, actually adds in stuff from the original Pokemon games. It's lit, man. They did a great job with that. I would say this is probably one of the best, if not the best aspect of the game. There are other things like I talked about, gameplay loop, frame rate resolution, those stuff are good, but man, the music has also been fantastic, especially if you're going to be playing this game for long periods of time. Bad music can really ruin the vibe of a game and make you just want to turn it off and play something that has better music with gameplay just as good. But the music keeps me engaged. The sound effects, I would say tone, everything just keeps me locked in with this game, and I just want to keep on collecting stuff, keep on going to nighttime battle royales, keep on fighting alpha Pokemon. Heck, I might even start shiny hunting a little bit when it comes down to this, because I love the Legends Arceus. I put 70 plus hours into that game, so I think I might put 70 plus hours into this game too over the course of time. So overall, like I said, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, and there's a lot of room where Game Freak can actually get better overall. But I think that having the crazy hyperbole, or having to the points where you're defending it without even saying anything negative at all, like both sides, when it comes down to it, are acting crazy. There needs to be some nuanced discussion on this piece, man. Like, there needs to be people that are willing to kind of come together. It's video games, so it'd be fun if we can actually come together and say, hey, this is what's good, this is what's bad, but not try to like completely disregard people that are saying stuff negative, and not try to completely shut out and disregard people that are having fun with the game and say, hey, look, there's some good aspects too. So I think that's what's missing overall, but nobody's probably going to listen to this when it comes to certain people. So whatever on that front. But what do you guys think, man? What do you guys think about the game? What do you think is good? What do you think is bad? What do you think about my thoughts on it so far, my early impressions? I'll have a full review of the game probably for you guys when I'm done. So that might be in a couple weeks. Whenever I finish it, I'll have a full review. But I have to, because Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is coming out in a couple weeks. So I have to finish this one up. So I'll have a full review for you guys with the amount of hours and my time and everything and what I feel about the game. But so far, so good when it comes down to it, with a number of glaring weaknesses like I already mentioned there. So what do you guys think about everything? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG videos and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.